Hello everybody, and I welcome all of you to Online Study for You. And in this video, we are going to talk about the InfiTQ 2021 programming questions. Yes, the InfiTQ is nearing and a lot of you students want to prepare for this examination, and we are going to discuss some sample questions from the programming section of it. Okay, so let's just get started. For more updates about the InfiTQ exam, the pattern, more questions, please do subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon, right? So we're going to get started with this video right away. So let's go to the first question. And the first question of this video is predict the output of the following Java program. And if you are not aware, in InfiTQ from this year, in the examination, you have to choose either Java or Python as one programming language, and you will get questions based upon that. And that is why we have taken this question. So let's take a look at what this question has to say. So the question goes like this. So they have given a code and we have to predict what is the output of this Java code. So class test protected int xy, class main, public static void main, string args, test t is equal to new test, t.x equal to 10, t.y is equal to 20. You're printing x and y. So what is going to be printed on this computer screen is what they're asking. So you have 5 options that are given here, 10 and 20. Option B is 0 and 0. Option C is garbage value. Option D is error. And option E is none of the following. So what is going to happen? Now, if you see here, there are 2 classes that are created here. Okay, and as we know that Java is an object-oriented programming language, and we have 2 classes that have been created here, and you have to identify it. Okay, so also both of these classes are in the same file. Okay, they're present in the same Java file, .java file. Okay, now what is happening here is you are actually taking the variables of this x and y. Okay, so if you come to the main program, you're creating an object of this class t and you're accessing the variables of that class. Now remember, you're not accessing the normal variable, but you're accessing a protected variable. That is where the question comes. So the test class is separate and the main class is separate. Don't get confused here. A lot of students get confused between main function and main class. Okay, here main is a separate class. Inside that we have a main function. Okay, there is the difference. Now you're trying to access the protected member of another class. Okay, I hope you know about the access specifiers in Java: private, protected and public, right? So these are called as the access specifiers. Now what do these access specifiers do? These access specifiers let you control how these variables can be accessed from what part of the program, right? Now, can we touch a protected variable is the question, okay? And the answer is yes. The protected variables are accessible, and that is why when you said t.x equal to 10 and t.y is equal to 20, what is happening here is an object called t is created. Okay, in this object t, 2 variables get created. One will be called x and another one will be called y. Okay, so whenever you store 10, this 10 actually gets stored in this object and this 20 actually gets stored in this y, and you're printing the t.x and t.y here, which gets printed on your computer screen. And that is why the answer for this question is option A, 10 and 20. Okay, so I guess the option given here is wrong. Okay, so if let's suppose this statement was not there, then your answer would have been 0 and 0. Okay, so don't get confused. When you are making this initiation to those values, then your answer will be option A. That is the correct answer. Okay, so such confusions actually happen when you're studying for this, right? And I hope you know about the InfiTQ structure. They're going to ask you Java programs, or if you choose Python, they'll ask you Python questions, they'll ask you DBMS questions, and there is aptitude questions as well. So they are doing this in 3 rounds. Okay, so we'll be actually putting out a video on structured explanation of the InfyTQ examination. So for that, you'll have to subscribe to us. And we are getting a lot of queries from the students saying, sir, we're not able to study for the InfyTQ examination. And that is why what we are doing is we have come up with a course for the students. Okay, so if you look at the course, we are having two courses here. The first course that we're having is the 21 days InfyTQ programming crash course. Okay, so presented to you by Online Study for You at just 249 rupees. In this 21 days, what are we going to cover? We are going to cover the DBMS questions, we are going to cover the Java questions, we are going to cover the Python MCQ questions, as well as the programming questions. You will be asked to code the solutions as well. You will be given a problem and you have to find the solution. We will solve those as well in these 21 days. So the examination is on 2nd and 3rd. So that is why we are starting the course on 15th of April. Okay, and this coding class will be from evening 9:30 to 10:30 daily. And you will get the recordings for these as well on our Online Study for You mobile application. Okay, we'll discuss sample questions, we'll discuss old questions, we'll discuss everything, and I will be taking this course. Okay, so please download the Online Study for You mobile app from the Google Play Store and you can install it. And you can also message us on this WhatsApp number for more queries. Okay, and for those of you students who are weak at aptitude, right? Aptitude is also very much important in cracking this InfyTQ examination. And that is why who is better to teach you aptitude than our beloved Pratik sir, right? Pratik sir is back to Online Study for You. He is going to be taking the classes, and along with the coding classes, the aptitude classes are also going to start, the live aptitude classes, and it is starting at the rupees of 149. Okay, so 21 days InfyTQ aptitude crash course from March 15 to April 3rd, and it will be happening daily from 7 to 8 p.m. and it will be happening again on our Online Study for You mobile app as well. So please download the mobile app and you can register for whatever course you want. Okay, so this course aptitude will be handled by our Pratik sir. He's an expert in teaching aptitude and he has coached thousands of students, and you can join this course as well. So we have two courses coming up for you guys from March 15th. Please go right ahead and join. The prices may increase soon as well. One is the aptitude course and another one is a programming course. Okay, so you can join whichever you want. You can join both, you can join any one of them, you can do anything, right? So now let's get back to the questions. So we have finished the first question. Now let us go to the next question. The next question goes as, predict the output of the following Java program. Okay, so let's take a look at the given Java program. So this is the program: class, test, public, static void main, string args, for int I is equal to 0, system.out.println, hello, break. So what is going to be printed on the computer screen? Option A, hello. Option B, hello, hello. Option C, infinite hello is printed on the screen. Error or none of the above. What is happening here? Very simple. We have a class called test. We have void main function and we have a for loop, and inside this for loop you are creating a variable called I, and for I is equal to 1, okay, and I plus plus. So for I is equal to 1, this is the test case, and I hope you know the syntax for this as well. So this is initialization, okay, and you have a colon here, semicolon here, and then you have condition checking here, and then you have increment decrement here, right? Now this condition here is 1, okay, and the statement that is inside the for loop is you're printing hello and then you're breaking it. Now, most students say that, sir, 1 means true, right? 1 means true. 1 is a non-zero number, it is true. So hence this condition will become true. Hello will be printed on the screen and then it will break. So that is why definitely the answer is option A. Lot of students do that. And this is wrong, guys, because this is a Java program, okay? And in Java, 1 is not true, okay? So you cannot just say 1 and that will give you actually an error, okay? Instead of saying 1, you have to actually write true, okay? Only when you write true, that will take as a Boolean value true, but when you just write 1, it is not going to take the Boolean value, okay? You have to be very, very careful in this. So for those of you who students are coming from C programming, C++, be very careful in this question, okay? So let's go to the next question. Predict the output of the following Java program, okay? So class main public static void main system.out.println fun. So fun is a function which returns 20. Now what will be printed on the screen? Option A 0, option B 20, option C garbage value, option D error. Now what is going to be printed? Now we have a main function, and inside the main function we have two functions. One is we have a class called main. Inside that we have two functions. One is the main function and another one is the function called fun. Now this main function calls this function called fun. Okay, so now what happens is this fun will call this will call this function and will return 20. So obviously system.out.println 20 is going to be printed on your computer screen. That is what most student will think. Okay, but this is wrong. 20 is not the answer. Now what is the answer for this question? Remember, in Java there is a rule that states that static functions, okay, can only call other static functions. Okay, you cannot call non-static functions. Okay, so if you see here, main function is a static function, public static void main, we write this always, right? Now this fun is not a static function. If you see here, there is no static keyword used, and that is why this main function cannot call this fun function. Okay, this function call that is happening here, right, is not valid at all, and that will yield an error in this program. Okay, and that is why the answer will be option D, error for this program. Okay, now we have taken a look at 3 Java programs. Now let us move on to some Python programs as well, understanding Python. Okay, so the next question is predict the output of the Python program. Okay, now what is the Python program? R is equal to lambda q, q star 2, s is equal to lambda q, q star 3, x equal to 2, r of x, s of x, r of x, print x. So what will be printed? Option A 0, option B 12, option C 24, option D garbage value, option E error, option F none of the above. Now what is going to happen here? Right, now lambda functions are nothing but normal functions that is defined in just one line. So now what happens here is a variable called r and s will be created. These are nothing but functions. Okay, these are not just variable, these are functions. Okay, now next what happens, x equal to 2 variable will be created. So variable named x will be created and 2 will be stored inside it. Okay, next when you make this call, right, x is equal to r of x, now what happens is r will be called, r will be nothing but q multiplied by 2. So q will be nothing but this x that you are passing here. Okay, that is nothing but 2. So now x will become what? X is equal to r of x. Okay, now r of x is what? Q star 2. So that is nothing but x is what? 2. So 2 star 2, that is nothing but 4. Okay, now what gets stored? 4 gets stored here. Okay, now that is what is happening in that function call. Right, so next what is going to happen is x is equal to s of x. So x is equal to s of x, that is nothing but s of x is q star 3. Q value is already 4. 4 into 3 is nothing but 12. So now 12 gets stored in x. Okay, next what happens is there is a next statement still. Okay, in the next statement what happens? Again x is equal to r of x. So in r of x what happens? R x value is 12. So 12 multiplied by 2, that is this r, right? So 24 is going to be stored in this x, and that is the 24 that we are printing here, and that is why our answer will be option C, 24. Okay, so very simple to understand lambda functions and we can easily implement it. Let's go for the next question, the last question of this video, that is predict the output of the following Python program. The program says a is equal to 4.5, b is equal to 2, print a / b. Now what will be printed on the screen? Option A 2.25, option B 2.0, option C 2, option D error, option E none of the above. Now what will be printed? Now as you know, Python is not type strong function, that is nothing but any variable can get value of any type, right? So now what happens is A will be a floating point value, B will be an integer value. And if you're coming from C programming or C++ background, right? When you divide 4.5 by 2, there is going to be some remainder that actually happens, okay? And that is why what happens is there will be type error that is happening in Python. Either you have to convert this 4.5 to 4 and then divide, or either you have to convert this 2 to 2.0 and then divide. Now this double divide, what does this do is, it is exactly similar to A divided by B, but it converts the second number to the format of the first number and then it divides it. So basically what is happening is this will be happening. So 4.5 divided by 2.0 will be nothing but option B, 2.0, because 2 2s are 4, right? And then we have 0.5 remaining. So that is why 4.5 divided by 2.0 will be 2.0. And that is why our answer will be option B, 2.0. Okay, I hope you understood this, right? With that, we have come to the end of this video, and don't forget to take a look at our 21 days programming crash course and our 21 days aptitude crash course as well. So do download the Online Study for You app and check it out. You can also message us on our official WhatsApp number that is given here, and you can take it forward. Okay, so with that, we are ending this video. We'll also be posting more questions on our YouTube channel as well. So please do subscribe, press on the bell icon, and I'll meet you in the next video. So thank you for watching, and bye bye.